Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here, wait for everyone to get in here. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Wait for everyone to come on in here. Welcome, welcome to Transparent Tuesdays. Welcome to Transparent Tuesdays. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Gotta wait for everyone to come on in here. Okay. Hey sister. Hey Latifa body.
Okay. All
All right, sis, we here.
right. We're here.
We
We're
are
here.
here.
Okay. Yes, I was gonna wait for some more people to come in here. I just literally started it. We got just us and Latifa's in. Hey Tifa. Gonna
Hey,
wait.
Tifa.
Give us a little bit of time. Kingdom blessings to everyone. I'm so excited about tonight. I'm excited about tonight.
I
I'm
am too. I
excited
think.
that we figured this all out. Hey, yes.
Give me one
Good
second.
evening.
I'll be right back in.
Okay, great. Good evening, Clover Perez. Thank you for joining us on Transparent Tuesday. Yes. Okay, Tiffy. Okay, come on in. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Tiff, I think you just joined in on our live as well. I can't see you. Thank you for joining in. We're waiting for. Okay. Waiting for Thania to come back in here, Joy, so we get started. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Transparent Tuesday. This is our first live with myself and Sister Thania. We are here live with you for Transparent Tuesday. We're so excited to start this new Transparent Tuesday. I'm very, very excited to be here with you all. And as soon as Sister come back, we are going to get started. And here she is. Yes, yes, and yes. And let's go. There we go.
There we
All right.
go.
Tifa wanted to join us too.
Okay.
All
Happy
right.
birthday,
Happy
Tifa.
birthday.
So we
All
here, sis.
right.
We ready. We ready.
Yes, let's ready. Let's get started. All right. So as we start Transparent Tuesday, Sister Thania, let's let everybody know why we started Transparent Tuesday and what Transparent Tuesday is all about. I'm gonna let you go ahead and get us started on on what Transparent Tuesday is all about.
Should I say like the kids say it? Transparent Tuesday is keeping it a buck.
Keeping it a buck.
Keeping
Let's go.
it a buck.
Yes.
Transparent Tuesdays is really not about telling you a business.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I think we need to begin with being transparent with ourselves. I think that's where it begins. And I think when we spin off from being transparent with ourselves, then we can be transparent with other people.
Right.
You know, it's not about telling you a business. It's about knowing exactly what you're feeling and how to relay that to other people. You know, how to be in touch with you, with yourself. So that's my spin on it.
Right. I think people, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think people, when you hear about transparency, they think about clear and they think that's what they think about. They think about just being, they don't understand transparency is just being able to uh, be clear with your motives, be clear with your feelings, to be able to express clearly your motives and your feelings to someone else. That's what transparency is. Not necessary to be able to lay out all of your business. You know, when people think about transparency, they're like, oh, they want to lay out all your business and all your
Right.
personal life and all of your personal transgressions and all. No, that's not what transparency is. Just being able to lay out your feelings and your motives clearly to people and clearly to yourself, really, and being honest with yourself and honest with the people in your life. That's what transparency is all about. And when you go first be honest with yourself and clear with yourself, I think that we can then be clear with others, and people and others around us can understand who we are, and they can be clear with our motives and our feelings and where we're trying to go, and our relationships and our faith, and in every area of our lives, right?
Every area of our lives. And I think one of the things that happens is we don't also guard ourselves from people who do not allow us to be transparent. Now, if you're on this live, I need you to tag somebody, get somebody in here, because this topic is a hot topic. First topic, transparency. So tag somebody, get somebody in here. Let's talk about this stuff. Let's what we would say, let's get into this.
Let's get in.
Let's get in.
Yes.
So Sister Dawn is looking for us somewhere. I just saw a text.
I just told her.
Oh, here she is. So absolutely, you know, that's one of the things that I have struggled with for many years. Many years I have stifled my emotions and my feelings and my truth because of the way other people feel about me being transparent. You know, and the only thing that does is causes inner turmoil. And it causes you to be a liar to yourself.
That's the truth. That's the
issue.
Truth.
You know, especially as women, we, you know, so much is put upon us that we can't really show our emotions. First of all, we're doing so much, we don't even have time to show our emotions. So let's hear what some of the other people have to say about transparency and how, whether either they are transparent, how they would like to be more transparent. Do they feel like that their transparency is blocked by any kind of situations?
Well, Sister Latifa, you joined us and you jumped in and you joined in. So I want to hear what you have to say about transparency. Is she there? I
believe she's still there.
I don't know. It's a screen locked. Are you there, sis? I don't know. Maybe we lost her because it seems like maybe like her screen may have been locked.
Okay. Well, we can get from the comments.
Yeah. Come. And how are you trying to move forward and what you're trying to get out this conversation? You know, this conversation is, you're here, but we can't hear you. I see that you're here, but we can't hear you.
Yeah, she's there. She can. You can type it in the chat if you'd like.
Oh yeah, or maybe you could drop off and come back on because we want to hear you. If you're going to, you know, you're here, we want to hear what you have to say because I can't. We can't. We can't hear you. Yeah. Maybe you could try to drop off and come back on because we can't hear you. But
we're not going to be. She can text it in the comments.
She can text it in the comments, right? But earlier when you and I were talking about this whole transparency topic and we trying to get into this conversation about us as a community and not just as women, but as how we're interacting with our spouses, our partners, our children, our church, our sisters, our brothers, our friends, our other Christian sisters, you know, how we're interacting with each other and how it affects us in so many ways when we're not clear with our motives, when we're not clear with our feelings, when we're not in touch with that, when we're hiding our agendas, you know, when we're hiding who we are, you know, when we're hiding, you know, and we're masking what we're trying to do and where we're trying to go. You know, and what and not just the agenda, but when we're just I don't even want to say motives.
Ourselves.
It's not just about the motives and agendas. It's just you just put on a mask. You're not even showing your true self. You know, you're so afraid to show who you are. You know, you're so you know. one of the best things that I've ever heard is like, when you show up in a room, show up as yourself. We're in a society where we're so afraid to show up as ourselves.
Right.
We're in a society that we want to show up as someone else. So we're so badly want to show up as someone else. We're in a society where we want to impress by showing up as another person. We go scroll through social media and we want to look like this person. We want to act like this person. We want to say the things that this person is saying. We want to even change the tone of our voice so we can sound like this person. We want to say the things that this person, we want to walk like this person. And we don't want to show up as our own authentic self.
And I believe that's because, and Sister Latifah just said being authentic. Right, she came in just on time. Right. But what I want to say is a lot of that has to do with our fear of rejection. Fear of rejection would cause you not to be transparent. So that's something that you have to take a risk on, being rejected. The possibility that you may be rejected stops people from getting a lot of things that they should be getting, entering rooms that they should be in. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of overcome the fear of being rejected in order to be transparent.
But how do we overcome this fear of being rejected if we so much want to be apart? How do you just truly stand up and say, I'm okay with being me? You know, this is this part around this conversation of transparency that I really want to dig into. You know, during this series that we're here, I really want us to dig into, and I wish what people would really tap in and tag somebody and bring somebody in, because we really need to tag in and tap in to this part of us, because we're in a society that tells us to simulate, right? To simulate, to copy, right? To clone. We're not in a society that tells us to stand out, right?
Right.
Where do we now come and say, okay, I'm going to have an original thought, right? We need to dig in and tap into that original thought and say, it's okay for me to show up as myself. It's okay for me to show up and have an original thought and to show up as me. It's okay to say, okay, I don't need to look like her or him. Right. I don't need to wear that thing that she has on or he has on. I don't have to look like this, because that's the standard. The standard is me. I'm my own standard, and it's okay because I'm okay in my own skin. You know?
And I think that comes along with getting to know who you are, getting to love who you are, and being in touch with who God made you to be.
Right. See, people
know what I mean?
Talk about that. This
with no apology.
Right. And this is that uncomfortable conversation that no one wants to talk about, because people want to talk about the assimilation. People want to talk about, oh, I want to go buy my bundles, and I want to go buy my makeup, and I want to go get my lashes done, and I want to go buy my red bottoms, and I want to go buy my Chanel bag, and I want to look like that person, and I want to look like that person, and I want to sing that song, and I want to say this lyric, and I want to do this because that's what's in. That makes me feel accepted, and that's acceptable in society, and that's what society has made me feel like I like, and I want to be, it make me even feel, what makes me feel good about myself. Like, I don't even know at this point, and I'm not speaking, I'm saying I as a whole, as a group, right? I'm not saying I as for myself, right? I feel like us, especially as women, right? And even men, because I feel like men have this place of insecurity, but we don't talk about that.
No, we don't talk about that.
But it's so true with men, and it's
but we experience it as women, though.
We experience it as women, and men experience it with so much more than women, but they experience it in a different way. But we can't talk about it because we're women, and we come from our own experience. But men experience it as well. But we'll come from our authentic experience because we are women, and we speak from a woman experience because we're women. But we need to talk about these things. We need to bring up a dialect, because it's really sad, right? It's sad because you can't show up as yourself. You're feeling a need to where you can't show up as yourself, to where you can't even show up without putting on without a full squad. Like, now, I even told you now, even me right now, what did I tell you I was doing before we came on?
You was getting yourself together. You was getting ready. You was
Right, because I said why? I said, "Oh my gosh, my eyes are so dark. I got to do something
yes
about these dark eyes." Right?
tired.
I'm exhausted. I got to do
But
something
I
about
did the
these dark
same thing
eyes.
though. I did the same thing.
Right?
We have a comment on the screen from Dawn. She said, "Life has made her transparent. God already knows. So who I am, who am I hiding from?" You know
I am
that's
who I am.
yeah. That's kind of the thing
That
that
part.
we hide from a lot of people for a lot
Mm-hmm.
of reasons. For a
Yeah,
lot of reasons.
for a lot of reasons.
And so when you can, come to the
Mm-hmm.
place where you're not hiding, and we're
Right.
not saying again, tell your business, you don't, it's not being out there and not
Mm-hmm.
caring,
Right.
it's about allowing yourself to be yourself. You know what I
Right.
mean? A lot of people won't be transparent in love because they have a fear of rejection or because
Right.
they've been hurt before,
Right.
and they're not healed or
Right.
on the process of being healed.
Right.
That right there is very important.
Right.
You flipped your camera around.
I'm so. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So
Right.
that part of it. That part
Mm-hmm.
of it. And things suffer when you can't be
Mm-hmm.
transparent.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Sister Latifah says, "We are accepted in the beloved. Stop looking for validation from other people." That's an interesting comment.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting comment. Because looking for validation from other people to establish who you are, I don't really believe that should be a thing.
Right.
But we do look to people, I want to say, to accept us.
Mm-hmm.
That's a reality that we do look to people to accept us. We're on live. We have a topic going on now. We're looking for people to accept us.
Right.
They're not going to define whether or not we come on live,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not we speak our truth, but we're
Mm-hmm.
still looking for some validation in a sense. So I
Right.
understand what's being said. And that's the thing, that we're trying to help people to get to a place where they at least begin to be
Mm-hmm.
transparent with self first.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yes. Mm. But I think, see, the thing with transparency is, and I think that we really need to get into this. We need to get into some exercises, and I think we'll talk about this more offline and more, and to get into this, is that we first have to be honest with ourselves about this whole conversation around transparency. And are we really being transparent with ourselves? Are we
Ooh, that's
really,
hard.
be honest with yourself, right? and
That's
and, and
hard.
really dig in, and are you being truthful to yourself? Because my thing is, I can sit here with you and say, yeah, Kia, you're being transparent with Daniel. Yeah, you're being transparent with everyone who's on this line. But am I? I can give you lip service, or I can
Right.
give you the lip service, right? Oh,
Right.
hey, Sister Salome, she said, what do you mean by transparency? Okay, so if you just coming in transparency, what do we mean by transparency? We're not talking about, and what do we mean? We mean just by making your motives clear, by making your feelings clear to
Right.
yourself and to other people. So if you're just joining us, what we mean by transparency and what we mean by transparent Tuesday is that we are just transparent. The definition of transparent, right? I'm a transparent. Anybody who listens
Go
to
ahead
me,
with your definition,
you will
sister.
know that everybody know that I'm all about
Come
unpacking.
on
I'm
with
all
it. We
about a
ready. We
definition
ready.
girl. I'm a
We in
definition
here.
girl, right? Everybody who knows
We in
me.
here. Come on
So,
in.
so y'all know I'm a definition girl. So the straight up definition of transparent, the in the dictionary means it. The first definition is allowing light to pass through so that an object behind can be distinctly seen, right? And then having thoughts, feelings, or motives that are easily perceived.
Easily
Having thoughts,
perceived.
feelings, or motives that are easily perceived.
Yes.
And we're talking about easily perceived to others, but first to yourself.
To yourself.
So that's,
Exactly.
in this conversation, that's where we're talking about transparency. Your
Now,
thoughts, your feelings, and your motives easily perceived to self and to others.
now let's talk about transparent to self is hard because I don't want to look at me.
Yeah.
I'm a mess. I don't want to look at
Hot
me
mess.
and my issues. I don't want to look at them. But until we start looking at them, we can't fix them. And the worst part about it is when someone else brings out the fact that you need to look at you and be transparent. That part.
Right.
You know, so it's not that we're saying we're perfect and totally transparent. I think it's a process. I think as you go along, you learn to be more and more transparent. And like Sister Brooks said, Dawn Brooks said, life will teach you.
Right.
Life will teach you how to be transparent.
It will. It will.
You can go through some situations that'll pull that out of you.
Right.
You know, and it makes relationships with other people easy.
Right. And what transparency is not, again, and if you're just joining us, and I think we misuse the word transparency, and as much as we use it, we misuse it, because transparency is not laying all your business out on the street either. It's not putting all your personal business out in the streets, as we say. It's not laying all your. It's just being clear again about your feelings, about your motives, making them easily perceived. That's it. That's not laying all your business out in the streets. You don't have to tell everybody or put all your laundry or your secrets out in the streets. That's not transparency. That's just people being a little bit too nosy, and you ain't got to all your laundry out in the streets for everybody to know. That's something totally different. That's not transparency. Okay, so. Like she said, Latifa, being real, and real, we're gonna get into that word real as well as we get into the series as well, because being real could be that's loaded as well too. I like to say authentic. You know,
we have an S Banks right here. Let's get into some of these comments. Salome. Yes, what do we mean by transparency? Okay, we answered that. If anybody wants to come on and talk. We want to talk about this thing and open it up and unpack it. Let's unpack this. And invite somebody else on. Tag somebody. I don't know how y'all do it because Instagram. This is new to me. But tag somebody and get somebody in here. Let's have some conversation.
Coming in and out. We thank you guys for coming in and out. Come in and out. Come in and out.
So that's the part. Just having a safe space is good.
Right.
And if you surround yourself with people who allow you, there's something so special about the people who allow you to be you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Without the rejection, without the criticism, you know, sometimes you really just want to take your hair down and just be you. And that's the most comfortable place to be.
Right.
In a lot of our relationships, we are not allowed to be transparent. And that causes issues because then you're lying to yourself.
Right.
And you're lying to that other person. And some people appreciate the fact that you're not transparent because then they don't have to deal with the issues on the table. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. And it's hard dealing in a relationship where there is no transparency. Right? When you're dealing, especially when you're trying to deal with in a close relationship. Now, if you want to have a superficial relationship, and superficial relationships are okay because we all have them. We have those relationships where you're high, you're by, you're in, you're out. But when you want to have a close relationship, a relationship where there's some type of intimacy, and intimacy doesn't even have to, I like this Empress Forever XOX. You learn to be your best self. Exactly. When you have transparency in a relationship. I love that. When you have transparency in a relationship, you help people and you push people into becoming their best self. You learn how to become your best self. Absolutely. I agree with that 100% when there is transparency in a relationship. But then, and every relationship doesn't call for transparency, right? Because like I said, there's your relationship where there are superficial relationships, and superficial relationships aren't bad. We have them all the time. We have them with coworkers. We have them possibly with a neighbor where there's just a high and by, you know, keep it going. There's no intimacy. And when I mean by intimacy, when I'm not intimacy doesn't always have to be between lovers, you know.
No, it doesn't.
Can be, it's not necessarily just about lovers. It could be between friendships, siblings, you know, It's more so about sharing. It's more about feelings and emotions, and the spirituality is more so of intimacy, right? That's what we get into, intimacy, and that's when you most need transparency, when you have intimacy, right? And you can have many relationships where there is no intimacy,
right?
And that's okay.
Right. And intimacy doesn't mean sexual.
Right. No.
It doesn't even mean man and woman.
No.
You know, you can have an intimate relation. Listen, we have an intimate relationship with God.
Right.
And sometimes we don't want to be transparent with God, and he already knows everything.
Right. That doesn't mean partner relationships. It doesn't mean that has nothing to do with intimacy. Right. No.
Even in that relationship, in the relationship with our belief system, right? In our relationship with God, we tend to try not to be transparent. And then, I came from a place where I saw God in a totally different way to how I see God now.
Right.
The things that I do that are crazy, I know that God is looking at. I'm like, all right, God, what part of the game is this? Like, I'm a whole entire, you know who you made, okay? So work with me here. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. When you can be in the presence of people that allow you to just show yourself and be yourself, that's a beautiful place to be. And that, to me, is true intimate relationships.
Right.
Let's get some comments here, y'all.
Right. So when is the last time you've been in a relationship when you've been able to truly be yourself? I need someone to let me know. Have you been in a relationship? How many of you have been in a relationship? Just by show of hand, just throw a hand up. If you've been in a relationship when you have been able to truly be yourself.
Put an emoji in the comment section.
Emoji. Just throw up a hand. Give me some hands. If you've been in a relationship when you have been able to truly be yourself. Oh,
I was married for 20-something years and I couldn't be myself. Let's talk about that.
So,
I didn't even know who I was.
There we go.
Didn't even know who I was.
That's sister. Thank you, Salome. Yes. Empress for yes. And that's a wonderful, you're in a safe place.
Safe place
when you're able to be yourself. And people don't understand that that's a safe place, right? When you're not able to be yourself, that's not a safe place. And then by a show of hands, that same way, if by a show of hands, let me know who's been in a relationship where you have not been able to be yourself.
Let's put a broken heart in that one. Let's put a broken heart.
Give me broken hearts.
Give me a broken heart.
When you have not been able to show your true self.
True self.
Let's see some broken hearts. I think I need to. I can.
Not allowed to be your true self.
I've been on both ends.
Right.
I've been on both.
Not allowed to show your true self. Not allowed to show your emotions. Emotions not respected. All those kind of things. The real you could not. You were not comfortable in your own skin.
And you know what? And here's some transparency for you. I've been on both sides of the coin with the same person. There you go. There you go, transparency. I've been on both sides of the coin with the same person. And I'm going to tell you how that was. You know what that was? Lack of communication.
Yes. That part, Empress.
I've been on both sides of the coin with the same exact person because of lack of communication, because of that same of what we're talking about at the very beginning of this, not being comfortable with myself.
Yes.
And saying, this is who, not being clear with myself of who I am, not being able to be transparent with Kia and saying, Kia, this is who you are. This is who you're comfortable with. This is how I perceive myself. So
but how can you have transparency if you don't have conversation?
But here's the thing. But not even right. First thing, but how can you have transparency with another person if you don't have transparency with yourself?
This is it.
This is the thing. And this is the thing about transparency. And this is my thing. When I tell you what I have it on both sides of the coin. See, I had the broken heart at first because and I blame myself here. I don't blame the person 100% at first, because here's my thing. If I don't have transparency with myself, right? If I'm not looking in the mirror and I'm not saying, Kia, if I'm not doing the work for me and saying, and saying, these are my feelings, these are my intentions, these are my motives, and clear for
Right.
me, how can I then make them clear to someone else?
True. True.
So I want
I get that
everyone
part.
to be honest with themselves. And this is what I'm saying about transparency with self, right? It's very important to be honest with yourself, right? And especially when you're in a relationship, and especially in an intimate relationship. And again, I'm not talking about a partner relationship, in any kind of, and I'm not talking about in a partner relationship as in an intimate, in a relational relationship, but like your spouse or anything, or the person you're building a life with, but even like a sibling,
A
friend, but
sister, right?
a sister
A
sister
friendship, right?
relationship, brother, a friendship. But you got to be honest with your own expectations of yourself, and what you're bringing and what you want for yourself, right? And we have to be clear. And the thing is, we don't be clear with our own self. We lie to
This is true.
ourselves so much because
And that's how we get stuck. We get stuck because we are so afraid of saying, this is what I want. Okay? I'm being transparent about what I want, and I'm not backing down, and I feel like I deserve this. Instead, we'll just be like, okay, well, maybe that's not. There's some things about what you want that cannot be negotiated, that can't be compromised.
Thank you. Stop
Period.
scrolling through social media thinking that this is what it's supposed to look like. This is supposed to what it act like. Stop looking at this person's relationship, or this person, how this person look, and this is person's act, and how this person is responding. And that's not how it works in real life. That's not how it's going to work for you.
Right.
Okay, so we counsel, right? The first thing is I do marriage counseling. I do couples counseling, right? The first thing I tell people is, throw out the window what you see with everyone else. We have to first figure out who you are and who your mate is and what's going to work for you. Because what you see someone else is working with, that's their thing.
Right.
For me and my husband, my husband don't care about we don't worry about, he don't care about cooking. I've been with my husband, we just celebrated our 18th anniversary, right? We've been together.
Happy anniversary again.
We've been together. Thank you. We've been together, off and on for almost 30 years, right? He don't care about cooking. That's not his thing. You know what I'm saying? He don't care if I clean up. That's not his thing. He has other things. You know what I mean? That's not his thing. Other men care about that. Other men want to come home and they want to cook. And women are taught, some women are taught, this is the thing, these are things you do. I was a woman who was taught that, you should cook, you should clean.
Me too.
These are things that I was taught as a wife. These are things you should do. My husband don't care about, that's not his thing.
And that was, and honestly, let me give you some transparency. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Finish your thought.
But I'm just saying, these are just simple little things that I'm just saying that we have to understand, and we have to understand about self and things that we have to be transparent about, and transparent about our expectations, and understanding what we want to do in a relationship, and the expectations of what we want to give, produce, and receive.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I was of that mindset too, because my mother taught me those things, how to be domestic. But there were some things that I was missing because I didn't get an opportunity to learn me early.
Right.
I didn't get a chance to learn me and what my wants and desires were early. You know what I mean? So for me, it was all the domestic part of the relationship. I didn't know how to do the other things that needed to be done, didn't consider them, so I would say that on my end, being transparent, that would have been the breakdown,
Right.
But when I began to learn me, when God began to show me,
right,
now I understand that there's more than just the cooking and the cleaning. There's the emotional part, and all those other pieces that come together. You know what I mean? My mind was kind of like in one track.
Right.
So like you said before, I could not be transparent because I didn't even know me. I could not even be transparent with myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And we learn a
So,
lot of who we are from other people, right? We don't take the time, and not just from the world, but we're shaped. We're shaped from the people who raised us, from our mothers, from our aunties, from our grandma, from our sister, our older siblings. You know, we're shaped from the people, in good, bad, and different. We're shaped, right? And then we come out and we're shaped by the world, and there's so much pressure, and there's so much pressure to look like something, to do this, and to
act
look
like the
this,
family,
and to act like this, and to be this, and to do this. It's so much pressure that we forget to slow down. We forget to focus, and we forget to focus on our own identity. Right?
So when do you become you? When do you become you?
That's the thing.
When do you get to be the person that God is designing you to be? Because we're so busy fitting into the molds of what people want us to be and what we should look like. And you know
When
what I
do you
mean?
walk
When do
in the room and show up as
yourself?
yourself? That's what I want people to shoot. I'm hoping we're building a conversation, and then we're gonna walk into rooms, and we're gonna walk in, and it's gonna be a freshness, and we're gonna walk into a room, and there's gonna be authenticity.
Yes.
And people, we're gonna walk in, and we're gonna see people, and we're gonna see individuality. We're gonna see authentic people. We're gonna see originality, and we're not gonna see a bunch of people looking like and talking like. And I see a bunch of people with the same makeup and the same hairdos and the same style and the same this and the same that. Where is the authenticity? And they're speaking the same way, and they're saying the same things, and they're doing the same things. When are you going? And even, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna call you out, and don't get mad at me. And you know, I'm a pastor too, and I'm ordained, but I'm tired of y'all praying the same ways and saying the same scriptures and thinking you gotta say the same thing, and sitting here and getting on the people and telling the people they gotta look this way and act this way. And I'm telling y'all people, y'all don't have to look away. You don't have to act the way God said. Come to him any way you want to come. Anyway, you come to him just the way you are. You don't have to look no way, come no way, because God came and Jesus sat with anyone. He sat with the sinners. He came to you, and he went and he sat with anybody he felt like sitting with. See me, I'm going anywhere I feel like going with. And when you see me, you know, you don't know where you're gonna see Kia. Kia gonna show up. You gonna go somewhere and you gonna see. Listen, Kia show up when she feel like showing up. So don't be surprised when you see Kia pull up. Because I pull up where I feel like it. Because they're gonna be like, oh, even my sister be like, oh, I go where I want to go, because you know what? And just know Holy Ghost is coming with me.
Okay,
just know
that's the part.
Okay,
and that's the part.
So
that is the part.
I know people gonna be mad at me. That don't fill my inbox up and don't care. It is what it is.
It is what it is, and that's the part. So everybody has a set course of how they think things are supposed to go. Right. We need some people to break out and be themselves. You know, so you know, you did it. Your mama did it this way. This one did it that way. And God is calling you to do something a different way, because a generation needs something different, but they can't see that, so they want to put you in this box.
Right.
They want to put you in this jail of how you're supposed to operate, even in the spirit. Now, y'all better come on and stop playing with me. This part right here.
That's what I'm saying. It's transparency. When I'm telling you, when I'm coming on here and we're having this transparent conversation, people gonna get mad because I said transparency in your faith, transparency in your community, transparency in every area. Because with the thing is, I'm not gonna let y'all get away.
You said that part.
That part. Yes, I'm not gonna let you get away with it, because we're gonna come out here and be yourself.
But we gotta learn how to.
Right.
We have to learn how to be ourselves.
We're going to get back to that. And we're going to get back to that. It's not even going to get back to that. We're going to build a comfort zone. We want to build a safe space where it's okay. It's okay to be you. It's okay to feel safe in your skin, to feel safe in you, because, you know, there's nothing, let me tell you something. You should feel entitled to be yourself. Okay? You were paid for by a price. Okay? You are a king and a queen. You are royalty. And that's how you should enter every single room, as royalty.
Right.
You are an original. There's a book written about you. There's a book written about you in heaven, just with your authentic name on it. So when you walk in a room, you should walk in that room knowing that there is only one you. You should never want to scroll through social media trying to look like someone else, trying to pretend to be someone else, trying to do your hair, do your makeup, talk like, have a dialect like someone else, pray, jump, shout like someone else, because you are authentically you. We need you. Whatever you have inside of you is needed.
Yes, because somebody out there needs the original you to stand out.
It's needed. This kingdom that we have here needs you to operate.
Okay.
See, the kingdom is not operating. See, now y'all gonna make me go take y'all somewhere else. The kingdom is not operating effectively because no one here is being transparent. No one is bringing out their true, authentic self. Everyone is here hiding. They're not hiding. They're hiding their feelings, right? They're hiding their motives. They're hiding their gifts. They're hiding their talents because they don't want no one to see. They don't want anyone to see them.
Absolutely.
They're ashamed of them. Why are you ashamed of your gift and your talent? We need that.
Let me go somewhere. I want to go somewhere else with the gifts and talents thing, because I was thinking about this earlier. And I was thinking about when we got on this line and people started to listen to us and stuff. One of the biggest issues that I've been going through, I like the prophetic thread. So I've been having a lot of conversations during the week with women, and women who have loved and been hurt, and going through the cycle of it, right? And love again and been hurt. I just want to say this: the very simple fact that you have it in you to love is something to be proud of, because everybody does not have the capacity to show love or to love.
Right. That's a gift.
Show up as your authentic self. Learn who you are. And I'm still in the process of doing that.
Well, here's the thing. The minute you realize, the minute you feel like you're outside of the process, and the minute you still realize that you're not in that, what does Lady Reva, Sister Reva say? You're not in the continuum.
The continuum.
The continuum. It's a continuum. It's a process. The minute I don't care where you are in your spiritual walk. I don't care what faith you subscribe to. Okay, we're not even going to get into that right now. I don't care what faith you subscribe to. The minute you realize you think that you have arrived and you're not in
done.
The process, you're done. You're done because we sin. And that's the thing, like we sin in words, thoughts, deeds, actions every day. Every day. If you know these thoughts that go on, because let me tell you something.
Child.
How many times you looked and you be like,
Right.
You know what went on in your head. That look. You ever heard that if looks could kill?
Right, because everybody has, and please don't go on my inbox. First of all, I don't even go on my inbox. So go on my inbox, you're going to be lost because I'm not, yes, that part. But let me just say, there's some, you need to know your dark side.
Be honest about it.
Because everyone has one. Somebody going to tell me, no, I'm full of Jesus. I don't have no, okay. Yeah, miss me with that.
Miss me with it all
miss
the way.
Me with that.
All the way.
Okay? But we need you to show up. And show up broken, show up shattered, show up however you show up. Come on, y'all. Show up. And let's start the process of beautification. The process.
My cousins are hi, Sean. Hi, Shauna. Yeah.
Who's that? Oh,
Shauna,
yes, we do.
My cousin, Shauna.
I need Shauna to elaborate on yes, we do. What part was that, Shauna? What part? What part? We need to know what part that was. Show up.
Yes.
I'm drinking coffee.
That's right. Bring your tea. Bring your cup.
It's the Latina in me. I'm going to drink coffee all day.
Coffee, you want to bring your cup of wine? Let's go. Bring it with you when you want to come. Next time, I got to have my cup of coffee next time.
Yes.
Or that dark
we
side.
do.
Yes.
We do. Exactly. We do. And we have struggles that we need to be real about. Come on, we got struggles.
We do.
Some of them we can't talk about online, but we do.
We're going to save that for the private room.
That's right. We saved that for the private room, right? And I'm not saying, listen, don't nobody go out there and say, listen, it is real. Get some real people in the room. If you're not ready, don't come in the room. I'm just going to say that right now.
That's it.
We do. There's some things inside of us that we struggle with. We have a dark side. You got to work on that. That's the thing that you have to work on. You know, there's some people on this line, because I know that in my mind for a very long time, I could see the person that I wanted to be. I just didn't know how to get there. And I did not have the confidence that I could get there. I didn't have the confidence. But as I went along and I started to be transparent and just taking a chance at being rejected, I began to see that I started to become what God was showing me that I already am. You know?
You see? Because you see, he was showing us that people are scared to work on their dark side. But you see, when you started becoming, it's because you weren't afraid to start diving into that dark side, right? And like Stallone said, is that daily struggle to start diving into that dark side. You see, and when you put all three of you guys together, it's when you're not afraid. When you could look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going to tackle it. You know, I'm going to go head on, because he tells us how many times not to fear, right? Over 360 times he tells us not to fear, just to go head on, right? To go head on, no matter what it is. It's those deep secrets. It's that nasty side you don't want to talk about, them things that you be thinking, the things that you be doing. You know, that nobody know about, but God know about. The things that we do in the dark, the things we do in the shadows, the things we think about in the shadows that we don't want to talk about, we don't want to stop doing, you know. But it is what
that's it.
And we got to work on those. You know, and then when we face them and we work on them, then you get the change, and then you get that transformation, and you get to turn it, and then you could feel it. You could feel that light shining through. You could feel that in yourself. You can feel that the flows start coming in. And then you stop getting those ebbs and the flows and the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows, and you become steady.
Lady Ju, please elaborate, because I want to know more about that part. What part was that? But we go now. Let me say something. Some of us don't even realize that. I was having a conversation with somebody, and I said to them, this mess that you're talking about, the chaos that you're seeing now, sis, that was always there. It's just that you've elevated, so now you get to see it. When you're in the middle of it, you can't see it. But when you elevate,
that's a fact.
When you elevate, that's when you begin to see the chaos that has been going on in your life the whole time.
Because when you're in the midst of it,
talk about the dark side.
That's that dark side. I'm telling you, when you're in the middle of it, you don't really see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? When you're in the middle, you how many times, even when you can see someone going through something, you'll be like, I'll be here when you finish. I'll be here because even when you could see someone going, or how many times when you was going through something that someone can tell you what you're going through. Someone can, and you'll be like, no, it's not that.
No, it's not.
That. It's not that. It's not that. Or or other way around. Like I said already, you could tell somebody else, girl, you tripping. Oh God, brother, you tripping. You know, this is what's going on. They'd be like, no, it's not that. But you know, because you've been there. You've been that person. You've been that. You know, and I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, you know, I love the me that I am right now, because I can see it, right? And I know at a different point in my life, I was very judgy, you know, and I'll be like, oh, this idiot, you know. I'm being honest with you. That's just what I would say. I'll be honest with you. But now I'm at a point in my life, I'll be like, whew, I'll be here when the fall comes. I'll be here to pick you up. I'll be here, you know, what you want to do. You want me?
We all had our holier than thou moments until we found ourselves doing the same thing we was judging. Come on now.
And here's the thing. And it's like, because when you're in the midst of it, you can't see it.
You don't want to see it.
You don't want to see it. But I've been in there. I done knocked down some doors, kicked in some doors. I done went crazy. I done had my moments, you know. But it's like, when you're on the outside, on the other side of it, it's like, what was I thinking? My God, what was I thinking?
Yeah, and this is the problem that I have. with a lot of people. When you came out of it, you can't understand when somebody else is in it and help them get through it.
See, that's you can't do that, because it's like how you sitting high and looking low.
Right.
I'm
You can't understand that what you can't understand that what you came through, right, by the grace of God,
right?
You want to judge somebody while they're in a situation that you came through.
No. See, that's the thing,
part.
that's the part of the transparency that you have to be honest with yourself about, right? That's the part of you're not being transparent about who you are and about what you've been through, right? It's about now you want to hide a part of self. And in an intimate relationship, you can't hide a part of self. You can't hide who you are, what you've been through. You can't forget. See, that's what we get. We easily forget who we are and what we come from. We can't forget. We can't have what I like to call short-term memory. We can't forget where we came from. We can't forget how we've been pulled out of the darkness and into the marvelous light. We can't forget that, because the minute you forget that, the minute you forget that is the minute that you forget about the grace, and the grace is sufficient. The minute you forget to give grace, right? Because then we forget all about grace.
Right.
We forget about God's grace. We forget about extending grace. We forget about love. We forget about all of that. And then it comes back to transparency, because it's like, then you're not being real. You're not being authentic. Again,
Absolutely.
Who are you showing up as? Who are you now? Who are you? Who are you? Who is this person? Who are you? You forgot? You forgot when you were sitting right here?
Right.
You forgot when you was that person?
Right.
Oh, you forgot when you was the dummy.
Somebody said,
like I said, you forgot when you was boo-boo the fool.
Right. Somebody said, "Dang, you forgot when you was rolling blunts before school."
Hey!
That part.
Please don't forget. I need you not to ever forget.
I will not forget it. But this is the truth. Now, the thing is that there are a lot of people on the line right now, women that we know, women that we connect with, who see who they are in God. And for whatever reason, are having an issue with getting there.
Right.
And sometimes it's the restrictions that people put on you. You know what I mean? Because for the life of me, there were some people around me at one point in my life that I never felt that I would be able to speak publicly. I was not called to nothing but having children and being a wife. You know what I mean? And I saw myself somewhere else. And when I began to take the steps towards that, then me popped up. And I was like, ooh, okay.
Okay.
And we continuing in this process.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Never having arrived, but continuing to strive towards the best you.
Yes.
The person that God created you to be.
Amen.
I need some women to show up like that. I need some women to show up like that.
Yes.
I need some women who want to show up like that and be the best you.
Yes. Yes.
That's the part.
That part. That part.
That part.
That part.
Unapologetically. That's right. You.
Amen. That part. That part.
Sisterhood is a beautiful thing.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
A beautiful thing.
So, ladies,
well,
we thank you.
801.
Yes, we thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us for the first Transparent Tuesday. We thank you. Yes, thank you for being ready. Thank you for coming on. We'll be here next Tuesday.
Before we close, Lady Ju says she ready.
Yeah.
We need to know how many other women on the line are ready.
Yeah, you ready?
Just put ready in the comments.
Yeah.
Ready in the comments.
Ready,
We ready. We got one person ready.
I'm ready? Ooh, yeah, okay.
All right.
I like that. The dynamite. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Here we go. All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you all for joining. Go ahead, sis.
No, go ahead.
Do your closing. Thank
Sure,
you
you
all
go
for
ahead.
joining us. We really appreciate it. If you have any topics that you want to talk about, let us know. We are going to be doing a more, what do we want to call it? Or after this live,
Mm-hmm.
we call it the afterlife. The afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Not today,
Yes.
but it's going to be coming soon,
Right.
where we can really discuss issues and go over the stuff, in
Yes.
a more in-depth way. Thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next Tuesday at 7:00.
All right. So tap a friend, tap in,
Yes.
invite them, tell them we'll
We're
be
going to
here
let
next
you know,
Tuesday
Lady
so you
Ju, where it's
know.
going to be at.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So come back here. We'll be on IG Live. We'll try to be Facebook Live. We'll get it. We'll get both of them going next week. So we'll have more people to tap in and tap in.
Yes.
All right. See you guys
Mm-hmm.
next week.
All right.